Ross Harris murder trial. He is intentionally leaving his son in a hot car to die. The trial has been moved to South Georgia after the judge ruled it was simply impossible to find an impartial jury in Cobb County. 11 Live's Duffy Dixon joining us live from Brunswick. She's about 5 hours south of Atlanta, where jury selection will get underway in the morning. Duffy.
Melissa, this feels a little bit like deja vu. You may remember in the spring, we spent almost a month trying to seat a jury. Defense attorneys and prosecutors were asking every juror individually a number of questions, and then it was decided they could not find an impartial panel, so it was moved. So now we are here. It starts tomorrow, as you mentioned, and we start back at square one. The small, sleepy coastal town of Brunswick is about to get some big city attention. The Ross Harris murder trial gets underway Monday, and the hope is that few down here know about it.
I just heard about some young man left a kid in a car.
We hadn't heard anything about it down here. I mean, a little bit here and there, but it's not really brought up.
The majority of people in Glenn County probably won't know any more about Ross Harris than I do.
That resident only vaguely remembered Harris
just to try the case in Cobb County.
The hot car toddler death case received so much media attention, attorneys couldn't find an impartial jury in Cobb County where the alleged crime occurred.
Because ultimately it is about getting a fair trial.
Police say Ross intentionally left his 22-month-old son Cooper in a hot SUV all day while he went to work.
And a rural jury in South Georgia might say, that kind of stuff happens in Atlanta. It doesn't happen to my neighbors, and they're not judging their neighbor. When in Atlanta, it's a little easier to judge someone who lives farther away from you than someone who might live next door.
Monday morning, 200 to 250 potential jurors who received a summons will come here to the Glenn County Courthouse. And whoever is seated is looking at 6 to 8 weeks of testimony, including Harris's now former wife, Leanne, who, as far as we know, still stands by his story that the whole thing was a horrible accident. We also expect to hear from prosecutors who will try to paint a sordid picture of the Cobb County father as someone who yearned to be child-free, alleging he had affairs and was sexting with an underage girl on the very day little Cooper Harris died. What will be different this time around is that the jurors will not be questioned individually, but in groups. Questionnaire this time, they will simply be questioned for the first time when they show up here tomorrow morning. Back to you.
Duffy, thank you very much. Coming up in just a few minutes, more legal analysis from 11 Live. He's joining us to discuss the Ross Harris trial, jury selection, and so much more. You can also go to our website, 11live.com, for the very latest on this story. This is new for you tonight. Hillary